And this is Panorama. Tonight, we investigate the rush to harvest the golden oil that finds its way into our homes in everything from biscuits to bars of soap, even the breadcrumbs on a fish finger.
Truck after truck after truck, there's just tons and tons and tons of the stuff.
We find evidence of illegal logging of protected rainforest, home to our natural cousin, the orangutan.
My exact location is 0337784 to the north and 0171324 to the east.
This is criminal. This is going to cause huge amounts of emission. This should not take place.
This is a story that turns on worldwide demand for this, the palm oil fruit. It is a secret ingredient that most of us consume without even realizing. But demand for it is having a profound effect on the global environment and is driving one of our closest natural relatives to extinction.
I need to get some chocolate and sweets for the kids. Fish fingers, where are the fish fingers? Ah, fish. Nobody needs another lecture about what to buy from the supermarket, but watch out for the variety of products that contains vegetable oil. Dove. Beauty cream bar. Warburton's medium sliced white bread. Aunt Bessie's roast potatoes. Vegetable oil on products' labels may disguise the fact that it's actually palm oil, and that's an ingredient you may want to learn a little bit more about. I'm going to the source of nearly half the world's palm oil. 7,000 miles round the world to Indonesia and the rainforest of Borneo. It's home to the last great tracts of pristine rainforest in Southeast Asia. I'm now in thick, dense forest protected under Indonesian law because of the hundreds of different types of species, plants and animals that live here. It's also been identified by the United Nations Environmental Programme as the orangutan's natural habitat. In the last 10 years, vast areas of prime rainforest have been cut and burnt to make way for this. Huge palm oil plantations as far as the eye can see. And in this area alone, land nearly twice the size of Wales is currently earmarked for the future spread of the palm oil monoculture. The pace of development is devouring the only remaining habitat of one of our closest relatives, the orangutan, a species now fighting for its very survival. To find out more, I journeyed deep into the heart of Borneo's rainforest and along the river Sambas. I got word of an orangutan that had been captured by a villager from the river community, and he didn't mind taking us to see it. Oh, there it is. It's got a chain round its neck, like a dog collar. The villager had taken her as a baby 10 years ago and had named her Mele.
Back then I was a hunter. I hunted for pigs and deer. But one day we saw an adult orangutan bringing its baby. We shot its mother in order to take the baby. We tie it with a chain to stop it from causing trouble, and we can play with it anytime.
Carmele could live like this for another 30 years. Have you ever tried to return her back into the wild, to the forest?
The forest no longer exists. It's all become palm oil plantations.
The Indonesian government admits that in recent years, 50,000 orangutans have died as a result of deforestation. Palm oil companies can make huge profits from the rainforest, first by logging out the timber, then from the lucrative palm fruit. This used to be the home to thousands of orangutans, but just look at it now. Look around me. All the trees have been chopped down, the land's been burnt, the trees have been burnt. Nothing can live here anymore. The orangutan is a species with no natural predators. Yet its population in Borneo has declined by over 50% in recent decades. Much of the land clearance is carried out by migrant labourers. They regard the orangutan as a pest. Shot at, burnt, chased from their home. Sometimes sold on to the pet trade. Sometimes left for dead. A muddy logger's road took me to an area of protected forest, part of a palm oil concession where cutting down trees is forbidden. This is also part of the protected forest, but that protected status has meant nothing. Just look over there and you can see they're clearing the forest, actively clearing the forest on protected land. That is clear evidence of illegal logging. To prove this concession was being developed on protected land, I took the GPS coordinates. My exact location is 0337784 to the north and 0171324 to the east. That's my exact location where this activity is taking place. It's estimated that up to 88% of all timber logged in Indonesia is taken illegally. I took the coordinates I recorded to a former advisor to the Indonesian Ministry of Forestry, now turned environmental lobbyist, Willy Smits.
So here they are.
Willy punched our coordinates into the European Space Agency global mapping system.
We have these images from the space agencies, and they are radar images, so they penetrate the clouds. You cannot hide anything. And these are the coordinates where you have been into the field. And this area with the white diagonal lines here is the Duta Palma groups.
Palm oil developer Duta Palma owns this concession. They supply a number of international traders who sell the oil to Asian and European markets.
The area is classified as high conservation value forest. It's virgin forest. Under the Indonesian law, you cannot convert this high quality forest to an oil palm plantation. But as you see, it's still taking place. This is criminal. This should not take place. It means there's no hope left for the most endangered subspecies of the orangutan in West Kalimantan.
The Indonesian Ministry of Forestry recognises the problem and is working with local charities who are trying to rehome the surviving orangutans. I'm now with the International Animal Rescue Team and I'm on my way up to a Ministry of Forestry's rescue centre where they're holding an orangutan found in a plantation. I joined their chief vet, Carmele.
Hey, siapa namanya? Chingo. Oh, his name is Chingo. I think he's about 6 years old. Hey! He's a bit naughty.
Where do you think his parents are and the rest of his family, if he has any?
You can only take a baby orangutan from the wild if you kill the mother first, because the mother will always try to defend the baby.
Right.
Another rescued orangutan called Jojo was to be transported along with Chingo to an animal rescue centre in Ketapang, but he was behaving strangely.
Why do they do that? Why does he do that movement?
This is a stereotypical behavior. It's actually an abnormal behavior.
Right.
It's because they are in captivity. So they get these psychological disorders.
Carmele was worried he was too agitated for the trip ahead.
I want to give the anesthesia.
Good boy. Good boy.
Okay.
Good boy.
Okay. Sorry. Orangutans suffer a lot of pain. They have passed through such a traumatic experience. I think it's difficult for them to forget. Oh. They are exactly the same as a human, but they don't have this development in their brains to understand our politics. But they are the same as us. They feel the same as we would feel. Oh.
It was time to leave for the airport, a journey into an uncertain future. But Chingo had other ideas.
We are really running out of time. It is going to be too late if we don't do something very quickly, you know? Orangutans will be extinct.
Palm oil earns Indonesia almost £5 billion a year, supplying not just the food industry, but supporting the biofuel boom as well. I visited a legitimate plantation to see the palm fruit being harvested. And there it is, a fresh fruit bunch straight out of a palm tree. This is what it's all about. The palm fruit. This odourless, solid piece of fruit is causing so much devastation across the whole of Indonesia's rainforest. The reason it's in such demand is because it's the cheapest vegetable oil on the market, and that's why it's used in so many of our products. I'm now on my way to a government-owned palm oil mill. This road has truck after truck after truck full of the palm oil fruit. Big trucks, small trucks, with the palm fruit pouring out of the side. There's just tons and tons and tons of the stuff waiting to be processed. Environmental activists and foreign journalists have been deported for trying to investigate the palm oil trade, so we had to be careful. Watch out, there's a security guard right here. I can see what look like oil tankers. It's clear they didn't want any prying eyes. They're just starting to write on a piece of paper. Maybe they're taking our number plate, so I think we better get out of here. No, here he comes. He's coming over. We better leave. I think we should go. Okay, go. Go. palm oil boom is not just impacting on the local environment. Indonesia is the world's third largest emitter of greenhouse gases, behind only America and China. So these are the boats we're going to get on. To find out why, I needed the help of this man and a very long pole. I'm now on the Sambas River on my way to a palm oil concession with a peat specialist, Imam, so that he can test the depth of peat to see if the company have complied with the law. It's illegal in Indonesia to develop land that consists of peat to a depth of 3 meters or more. We're on our way to another jute palmer plantation. There's palm trees for as far as the eye can see, just everywhere. You pick your spot.
Stop. Everyone good here.
You want to measure the depth here?
Okay.
Okay, let's push it down.
Okay. Push. Okay. Push. 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 Push again. Push again. Enough.
This is the test the palm oil companies don't always carry out, for fear they will be stopped from developing the land.
Okay.
Oh, look, there's oil.
Okay, good.
We struck
Okay.
gold.
Must look at it. Okay. Oh yeah. Is this peat in the 1 meter is peat. Organic matter.
Okay.
Is this peat. Ooh, yes.
Good so far, but we needed to prove the peat was 3 meters deep. Peatland is a delicate waterlogged biosystem created over tens of thousands of years, which stores huge amounts of carbon dioxide. When palm oil companies drain and deforest the land, we all pay a price.
Pada saat ini, kebanyakan perusahaan-perusahaan kelapa sawit
Most palm oil companies do not perform peat depth testing effectively,
itu tidak melakukan
so they don't know whether the depth is 3 meters or more.
secara efektif, tidak secara lengkap, sehingga dia tidak tahu areal ini.
When this peat area is disturbed, it will release a huge amount of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere,
Dia akan melepaskan karbon dioksida yang
causing severe impact to the environment.
begitu banyak dampaknya terhadap lingkungan.
Okay, so we're now going to push the rod into the ground. With the pole now 3 meters long, this was the crucial one. If this one came up peat, we had the evidence. Okay, let's have a look at that.
Look at that.
Okay, what have we got here?
Oh, good. Is this
Peat.
peat? Is this
So,
peat?
3 meters, we've just been down, and that is 3 meters deep of peat.
Peat. Look at it.
Peat,
Is it
peat,
peat?
peat.
Peat.
So this has got palm trees for as far as the eye can see.
Yeah.
Is it illegal?
Illegal.
This land shouldn't have been converted into palm oil plantation.
Illegal. Illegal.
3, 4. In the end, we recorded a depth of 3.5 meters. Okay.
So, 3.5.
So it's east 0341869, north 0155010.
So you have been to this area here, where you have been drilling. You can see it is inside the Duta Palma group here.
Willie Smits compared our coordinates with the maps he holds of Borneo's peatland deposits from the Indonesian Ministry of Forestry.
It is strictly forbidden to have any kind of activities on deep peat. So here you have another crime. So this is going to cause huge amounts of emissions. Every year, this area per hectare will emit 220 tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. So this is not just a matter for Indonesia to decide, this is a matter for the world.
The palm oil industry is not just a threat to the orangutan, it's a threat to the whole world too. I wanted to hear what the Indonesian government were doing about it.
Justru kita ingin membangun hutan kembali.
We want to replant the forest. The president himself has stated his intention to plant 1 billion trees a year. Because he realized it was the wrong policy by the government in the past, and we're trying to put the forest back. At present, almost no illegal loggers dare to do their job. If there is any, it's very, very small compared to what they did some years ago.
I've seen evidence for myself of a particular company called Panorama who have developed plantations on peat deeper than 3 meters. What does the Indonesian government propose to do to stop this illegal activity?
If there is strong evidence of illegal activities, the government will take action. Any breach of the law will be dealt with harshly.
We've since passed our evidence to the Indonesian authorities, but the machinery of government can move slowly here, so I decided to pay Panorama a visit myself. Panorama and its associated companies own palm oil plantations covering 160,000 hectares of land in Indonesia. Hi, can I speak to somebody from the Panorama company? I wanted to ask the agribusiness company about the 2 concessions where I'd seen illegal development. Panorama declined to comment, but we know they export their palm oil all around the world, where it is bought by international traders like Wilmar. Wilmar distributes oil from different growers to a wide range of UK companies, including Unilever. Several Unilever products contain palm oil, but you won't find those words written on the label. Vegetable oil. Doesn't say palm oil. Why?
Well, let me start by saying that we believe in informing the consumer. This is also why on every product...
You can't inform the consumer if it doesn't say palm oil. If I go into a supermarket and pick up a tub of Flora margarine, I will never know that this contains palm oil.
You will not see it from the label, and there is a technical reason for that. That is that you use a blend from different oils, and from one day to the next you slightly differentiate that blend. And if you would label the individual oils, then basically you would have to change your label every week or every month or every day when you make the changes. So there's a technical reason. But we're being very honest that we are today 85% of the volume that Unilever uses is not sustainably produced.
Unilever has made an ambitious commitment that by 2015 all of its palm oil will be certified sustainable, which means it's from plantations that have passed an environmental and social impact test. But there's a problem. The current supply system means it's not possible to trace the oil back to source to guarantee it doesn't come from illegal plantations. By 2015, will you be able to trace all of that palm oil from source?
It is indeed the intent that by 2015 we should be able to trace that.
Should be able to or will be able to?
Well, again the question that you're asking is, can you segregate that palm oil all the way through on its route to the west? Right now that is not possible. And even though some oil is produced on one plantation which is certified sustainable, the oil will get mixed. And right now it is not possible for us, with the volumes we have, to segregate that logistics.
You can see the difficulty that manufacturers face here in Rotterdam. The palm oil arrives on container ships from all over the world. It's then pumped ashore into giant storage tanks that belong to international palm oil traders. All trace of where the oil comes from disappears in the mix. But a traceable supply of palm oil has been proven possible by companies like Sainsbury's within their own brand products. This is one of your products with palm oil in.
Yeah.
Right on the front of the box.
Yeah, straight in the middle. Yeah. Made with sustainable palm oil, so it's pretty straightforward, yeah. We were the first company, we think, in the world to put a product, a food product, on our shelves which had sustainable palm oil. It took around 10 years to get the first product on the shelf, and we've had to do a tremendous amount of work tracing supply chains all the way back to the farmer at source.
Until the industry can properly segregate palm oil right the way back to the plantations, palm oil from illegal sources will continue to find their way into products on your supermarket shelves.
Recently, Unilever terminated a large contract with a supplier called Sinar Mas because of reports it was destroying high conservation value forest. Unilever has since told Panorama it intends to try and overcome the supply system problems so that no due to palm oil ends up in its products. Some of the UK's biggest manufacturers and retailers are trying to do the right thing, but their efforts are unlikely to slow the pace of deforestation. And the reality is, only 3% of the world's palm oil is currently certified as sustainable. Man continues to be the greatest threat to the orangutan. Back at the International Animal Rescue Centre in Ketapang, there is some excitement. Chingo and Jojo have finally arrived at their new home.
Yes, Jojo! Finally, you've got it! Jojo! You've never been so up!
Both these animals have been through quite a traumatic experience, but now both Jojo and Chingo, they're already bonding.
But the sanctuary is only a halfway house for Jojo and Chingo. After being taken from their mothers at such a young age, they still need to be taught basic survival skills so that one day they can be returned to the forest.
The most important thing right now is that we have to save the forest. If they don't have forest, they can only spend the rest of their lives in a cage. But what is the future for an orangutan in a cage?
In Indonesian Borneo, nearly 40% of the orangutan's natural habitat has been destroyed in the last 2 decades. In some parts of the country, the animal is now critically endangered. Now, if you want to find out which products in your shopping basket may contain palm oil, you can just go to the Panorama website. Next week, as South Africa prepares to host the World Cup, we ask if the beautiful game can save those fighting to survive in its slums, where abandoned children, drug addiction and violence are rife.
Coming up next here on BBC One, the new Tricks team unravel a conspiracy theory. Peter Taylor's series Generation Jihad continues on BBC Two, while on BBC Four, the politics of diplomacy and foreign policy. Quite a skill getting our way.